My name's Christy Chen. I work at Dittoe Public Relations. I've been there for about 5 years, and today I'm here to talk to Indy Wedding Network about public relations and how a lot of these wedding vendors can go and get media coverage for themselves, giving them tips on how to identify what type of story is interesting to the media, what's going to be timely, what's going to be relevant to the media. And just really understanding the whole concept of earned media and how that will help transform their business. Aside from media relations, we will be talking a little bit about other things that they can do to help position themselves and to get attention to what their business is doing, what types of services they provide, and really what makes them unique in the industry.
So please welcome Christy Chen.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me here today. I've been at Dittoe Public Relations for the last 5 years. And before that, I actually interned quite a bit at some TV stations up in Fort Wayne and got to see that side of working with the media, being the media. And I really got to see, during our news assignment meetings in the morning and the press releases that would come in, what was being covered by the news station and what would just get scrapped. Public relations is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between an organization and their publics. So, in my opinion, PR is any activity. Maybe it's media, working with the media, getting media coverage. Maybe it's putting content out there on your blog. Maybe it's putting out a press release. Any activity that builds awareness of your brand, of your leadership, of your product, of your service. It engages with your audience, makes them engage with your company, and then it also influences behavior. So a lot of times people will ask me, why is PR powerful? It's powerful for a number of different reasons. So when you are, when you're working on your marketing campaign, a marketing campaign can come up with an idea. That campaign doesn't necessarily change relationships or change perceptions, but marketing can create that campaign. And then advertising can dress it up in creativity and hire a bunch of eyeballs to watch your campaign for 30 seconds at a time. But PR is really what is capable of building relationships and really just getting that loud, constant noise out there. It's not a temporary splash, it's the type of awareness that just creates this constant stream that carves out canyons. Good public relations is carefully planned, it's consistent, it's an effort to establish your company's identity and a way for you to maintain credibility and really just to promote your communications between your company and your audience. You really want to create that credibility so that when the time comes, your audience knows you're the person to go talk to when I need wedding favors. Or when I need a wedding cake, that's the expert, she's the best in town. Everything we do is all about earned media coverage. We don't pay for anything. We don't pay for advertisements, we just display ads, anything like that, that's not us. We're there to take a great story idea to the media and have them genuinely like it, respect it because it's timely, it's relevant, it's interesting, and have them do a segment or do an article about that particular story idea for free because that's what the media does. So we are responsible for getting our clients' names in the headlines, and that's something that we really excel at. That's really the bread and butter of what our firm does. Other activities that we do on a daily basis. Thought leadership campaigns. So we're constantly looking for ways to give our clients that credibility for their expertise. Maybe it's an award nomination that we're filling out for them, or discovering a speaking opportunity for them to get out there and get their message out to their audience. Social media has become a big part of what we do as well. So managing everything from creating the strategy to the daily content creation to monitoring what's being said about a company. That's all part of our social media support. And then internal and external communications, again, just getting out those newsletters or getting out those blog posts, press releases, anything to get that communication out to your public. So there has to be a number of different components in order for your story to be of interest. Otherwise, you might be wasting the media's time. The reporters, they get so many pitches every single day. We'll write a short little email to our contacts at various media outlets that basically suggests a story idea. It'll list out, the angle that we would want them to take. It'll talk about why this is, interesting, why they should write about this, and just basically give them everything that they would need in order to put together a great article or a great TV segment or anything of that nature. So for you guys would be reaching out to a reporter, and you'd have to have a very unique and catchy subject line. And you really, honestly, reporters get so many pitches every day. You've got 1 or 2 sentences to catch their attention, and then that's it. If you send them an email that's this long, delete, I don't have time to read this. Like, tell me in 6 words why I should care. Very rarely will you ever see a story just about a particular company, what they do, why they're awesome. That's not really what media coverage usually looks like. Usually, in your case, you're going to be wanting to pitch stories of, why you're the expert in commenting on trends within the industry or something of that nature. So, certain things to think about when pitching a story idea. First of all is timeliness, and this is so important. News has to be current. So how to tell if your news is current? First of all, is it linked to a current event? Is it linked to a holiday? Can your story be linked to another event that has national recognition? And does your story add information to an event or a situation that's already being extensively covered by that media? So for you guys, most media outlets here, they tend to cover stories about weddings in the traditional wedding months, so spring and summer. If you're wanting media coverage here in the winter, you need to think of a timely angle on why they should talk about that now. So maybe you found this great statistic about why winter weddings are becoming more popular. Like in 2011, 10% of couples got married in the winter months, and this is up 5% from previous years. And then talking about trends in winter weddings and whatnot. Or maybe you realize that it's engagement season right now, and over 60% of couples get engaged during and around the holidays. So here's tips for newly engaged couples on what they should be doing at this point. So again, you always want to make sure that it's timely. You don't want to start pitching winter weddings in April. You want to pitch that now. And you don't want to pitch summer wedding ideas right now because the media doesn't care. That, in their mind, that's so far away that, yeah, summer wedding trends, they don't care right now. Media coverage is if your story includes somebody who's a prominent member of society. This will draw attention to the story, such as political figures, athletes, other local celebrities, and people that are just in positions or well known within their communities. So for instance, maybe you are the event planning firm that's tackling Zubilation. I know nothing. I don't know who planned Zubilation. I have no idea. So, that's a huge event, and that's a way to connect with the media because it's a prominent event. People are going to want to know what's new this year, what's going on at Zubilation. So that's an example of prominence. And then maybe you're planning a wedding for one of the Pacers, and with their permission, they've allowed you to contact the media about it and kind of to share their special day and give you credit as the mastermind that threw this awesome wedding. So working with the local media, you have to be local. I think a lot of times people don't fully understand this. They'll be like, oh, well, I want to start planning weddings, or I want to start doing this in Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne doesn't care because you're headquartered in Indy. Your only experience is with Indianapolis events. You've never worked with a Fort Wayne event. You have no ties to that other market. So that's one thing that you want to make sure that you're showing, that you are local, that you're the expert in this industry. You've already planned 35 weddings in Indianapolis in the last 2 years alone. So just again, showing proximity. The media loves weird stories. So if it's like an interesting, I don't know, like an interesting trend like a trash the dress photo shoot, that's kind of weird, and people are starting to talk about that more and more often. I don't even know what's weird in wedding planning. Do you guys have any weird ideas or an interesting hook? Anybody? Crystal, what?
Zombie weddings.
Zombie?
There's a picture in it, zombie weddings.
That is actually awesome. Does anybody else watch Walking Dead? I love that show. Alright. Yeah, so I mean that would be, if you're one of the vendors that are helping give that couple their dream wedding, that's a great story to take to the media. Conflict. So conflict, as you guys know, generates media interest. When two or more groups advocate different views on a topic or a current event or something, this creates news. So in your case, it's like, how are these people going to create conflict? Maybe it's just going against the norm and pitching the whole idea of why, somebody needs to throw all of the old wedding etiquette out the door, because it doesn't matter. It's not relevant anymore. And taking a strong stance and being ready to back up those points and giving maybe some of those bulleted points in your pitch, that could be a great segment for TV. One thing you need to remember is that while it needs to promote you and your company, it can't be about you and your company. Here's what you can take away from it. They don't want to know who you are and what you do. They want to know what you know. So that's just one thing to think about when you're thinking up stories again on what to pitch. So get incorporated into articles or trend pieces and how-tos. For instance, the 5 hottest wedding trends for spring weddings, how to select the right photographer for your newborn's first photo shoot. Those are the types of stories that you guys should be pitching on your own. Any type of story that positions you as the expert.